Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Michael Meier Show. We have a really fun rockin' show for you today. And the reason that it's going to be a fun show is, first of all, the guests are fun. We actually started talking a second ago, and I put a pause on the conversation because I was like, you guys are too funny. We need to get this live. So you're going to meet some really great agents, a successful husband and wife team, a team that is using video content to blow up their business in a major way, doing really, really great things. They're both winners of the Royal LePage Chairman's Club, which honors the top 1% of real estate agents in Canada. And one of the Jenn, who you'll meet in a minute, is also a Royal LePage Shelter Foundation winner for her efforts in raising over $10,000 after trekking across Iceland. So we're going to hear all about that kind of stuff. And one of the reasons they got on my radar is because of the great video stuff that they're doing. And they landed one of the top 10 spots on BombBomb's Real Estate Video Influencers Award. I'm really excited to hear about how they're using video content, local video content, to help them sell property, sell themselves, and engage their communities. So we're going to learn a lot from them. It's going to be a really exciting show. So let's jump in on this. Without further ado, welcome to the Michael Meier Show, and let's hit this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Michael Meier Show. Let's jump into the show. It's going to be too much fun, and I don't want to hold it back any further. Jenn and Ryan, are you there?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Here.
How are you guys doing?
We're great. We're great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for jumping on the show and sharing your wisdom and advice with the real estate agents and just the communities that are tapping in. Before we jump into it, I started off with a brief introduction about some of the different great things that you guys are doing, but would you mind giving yourselves a brief introduction so people know who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. I got to correct you really quickly. We were both on 2 separate categories in the Video Influencers Award. So,
really? Okay.
And I have to admit, Jenn beat me in one of them. So she's got bragging rights for the year here. So
okay, so list it. Tell us what it was.
So I was number 8 in the home, I think it was a home tour category.
And then I was number 9 in the in kind of the community style videos.
Fantastic. Now, while we're talking, I would love to see any of those. Do you have any place where we can maybe pull up or see those videos? Do you have it on a website or on YouTube or something like that where Brandon can pull it up on screen while we're talking?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our shieldsgroup.ca, there's videos all over on there. So I think there's just the video tabs. Fantastic.
So while we're talking, we'll just make sure randomly to kind of throw up some of that stuff so people can see. But okay, so you got Jenn, you were in the top category for home tours using video, right? And Ryan, what about you?
Yeah, we were in the communities videos. So I did a lot of community-based video, emphasizing our community brand in Manitoba.
Fantastic. So just to get some specs, so to speak, on you guys, how long have you been in the real estate industry? When did you start using video? I assume that you focus on sales, but give us a little bit of a context.
Absolutely. No, I started in real estate. I came into the business first. Jenn's actually a physiotherapist by trade and stuff. So I came into the industry about 9 years ago now. And then I was fortunate enough 4 years ago, for Jenn to join me in the business. Roughly about 3 years ago, we made a big decision to invest in video in our business and haven't looked back. We've just kind of leveraged it. And we both bring something very uniquely different to the style of videos that we produce.
As you'll probably notice, we're very different in general. So right off the hop, we feel like we'd almost fight against that a little bit. And then we realized we should just be embracing that and showcase our different personalities for just exactly what they were. So have lots of fun using video to help our clients with their properties, but also to kind of show our love for our community as well.
So I'm going to do something interesting here. So Jenn, I want you to describe Ryan, and Ryan, I want you to describe Jenn, because I want to see how you guys are different here.
I didn't realize we were kind of coming on like a marriage counseling thing.
I kind of feel like we're on like the Property Brothers show or something.
Absolutely.
Well, I would say Ryan is intense and yeah, and he's very motivated and driven and goal focused and linear, I'll almost say. Like he sets a goal and he just like cuts a straight path to achieve it, which is amazing, but very different from me.
On that note, I would say, Jenn,
let's hear the reverse. Let's give the description.
Absolutely. Jenn is very caring and thoughtful and very, very concerned about people's emotions and the way they feel about things, and will kind of go out of her way to make sure you're very comfortable in the whole process and make sure you're just feeling safe and everything with everything that she's involved in. She's a very nurturing, comforting person.
That is super cool. All right, awesome. So great. This brings some great context. And now I'm sure there are some people wondering, you guys are wearing hockey jerseys, and tell us a little bit about why you're doing this. And yeah.
So last Friday, there was a very tragic bus accident just about 5 hours from where we are here. There was a junior hockey bus carrying 29 people up to a playoff hockey game, and they're about 20 minutes away from their destination when they collided with a semi, and there was 16 people that lost their lives, so 6 team personnel and 10 players. There's still 10 more in hospital, some of them still kind of fighting for their life, some are stable, but today is a day our entire nation has been encouraged to wear jerseys in support of the Humboldt Broncos and that tragedy.
So yeah, no, it's just for me personally, it is struck pretty close to home because I played 2 years in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League against these teams that were involved in the crash, and spent many a times on that same highway where the accident occurred. And then with our 3 kids now all heavily involved in hockey, it hit a nerve for both of us, and we're doing everything we can to honor those that lost their lives and those that continue on with their hockey careers and everything.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us and honoring, those individuals. So obviously our wishes go out to those that are, in the hospital. But yeah, thank you for taking a moment and letting everyone know about that. So now jumping into real estate value and using video to help agents. So I want to start off with a quick question to you guys. We're going to dig in deep real quick, real fast. Question I have for you is, what are 3 pieces of advice that you guys would give a real estate agent that wants to use video or that should use video to help them grow their business? Pick 3 things, however you guys want.
Absolutely. The first one is just do it. Don't overthink it, because the way you look and sound on video is who you actually are. So embrace that. Don't try and change who you are when you're trying to get into video.
Gotcha.
And I guess I'll further to that. Like, I feel like you kind of covered 2 topics with 1 point, but yeah, it's just start. Like, don't have to have like a gigantic plan of what it's going to look like. Just pick up your iPhone or Android, whatever, and start shooting video. And then I guess the second part of that was be authentic. And I struggled with this for a little while because when I got in the business, Ryan decided.
Did I lose you?
Not sure.
Okay, just give me 1 second here. Sorry, just 2 seconds. I just checked something.
No worries.
Go ahead, Jenn. Keep going.
Yeah. Do you want me to keep going with audio?
Yeah, we could keep going.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I was gonna say just be authentic. And when I joined the business, Ryan had this big master plan that I was going to be like the face of our brand, and that I was just going to be on video all the time, which was super outside my comfort zone. And
that's a pretty big compliment to you from your husband right there.
Well, it really is, for sure. And it was going to push me out my comfort zone. But what I learned quickly was that like I'm kind of a laid back person, and like hair and makeup isn't necessarily something I have done all the time, but all of a sudden I felt like I needed like a huge makeover every time I was going to go on video, and I needed like to be wearing a suit, even though I would never wear a suit and all these things. And it took me a little while, but really just embracing who you are and be authentic, because when you're putting yourself out there in your business, at the face of your business, I feel like there's nothing worse than someone meeting you on camera and then showing up and meeting you in person and having it be the exact opposite or very different. So just get started and be authentic.
I don't know how to get this camera back on, guys. Just give me a second. I'm going to play with something. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
Give me 2 seconds. I might have to do that. Sorry, guys.
It's all good. It's all good. So I'm gonna just keep on going a little bit here, anyways, while you guys go through this process over here. A few pieces of advice that you guys were saying is, number one, to just go out and go and do it. So I'm curious, when somebody gets out there and decide to go and put themselves on video, you guys are working two different video angles, right? You're working the community angle, and I'm curious about that. So if you tell us a little bit about how you're focusing on community, and then also on the opposite side, you're focusing on property and home tours. So maybe there we are.
And you know what? I'll have to apologize because we missed what you said on that last part there.
Oh, no problem. So I wanted you to jump in and tell us a little bit about, you spent a lot of time on Jen, you spent a lot of times on the property tours. So tell us a little bit about kind of what you do and what you do that has been like the secret sauce. What has worked for you? What has made you stand out? So on and so forth.
I think a lot of it is just, like I said, embrace who I am, embrace my like quirkiness. When we approach a property, Ryan usually kind of comes up, he's more the strategic one. So he comes up with a plan, and I walk in and just kind of figure out what I love about that house or what I would do if I lived there. And most of our property videos are completely on the spot. Like Ryan, he never knows what I'm going to do. I think the latest one we just did, they had like a home gym with a pull-up bar, and I was like, well, I should like just do a pull-up in the video. There's so many bedrooms, one could be a home gym. And so I think that's honestly our approach, is he comes in with like a basic kind of plan of what the video might look like, and then I just take my personal touch on how that property feels, and the really great qualities about living in that property, and sort of try and showcase that in the video itself.
Now, do you feel that
the one thing I'll just jump in, and one thing that Jen doesn't hide at all is just her authenticity. And when you see her on the street, she is what she is. But then when you see her in these property videos, she's quirky. She's kind of doing, like she said, a pull-up, or she's sitting in a bathtub, or she's just being herself. And I think that has appealed to so many potential buyers, because then they'll phone her. And I mean, as you know, the power of video, she shows up and that's who she is. Yeah. And she's not afraid to be who she is, whether it's in real life or in video.
Where do you think in the process of working with clients, like you're doing these videos to market properties, I'm sure they also have the added benefit of helping you find buyers that you sell other properties to also, and just in general help brand you as someone maybe sellers should hire to sell their home. I'm curious, what part of that entire process life cycle does the videos help you the most from your business perspective?
I think for myself personally, it's like the trust piece. And I think it is because I just get out there, whatever videos I'm doing, if it's a vlog or the home tours or community videos. I feel like when I do meet new clients or prospective buyers that have maybe seen the video, and they meet me and I'm the same as I was on camera, like I feel like that trust just happens right away. Like you can see, it's like, I always say meeting a client for the first time is like an awkward first date. You're kind of like uncomfortable and don't really want to say something awkward. And so there's that little bit of a period, but for the most part, then it just clicks and people feel safe and they feel comfortable. So I think for myself personally, that's the biggest way that video has helped propel my business.
Absolutely. And I think video is just the easiest way to get your brand out there, to get yourself out there, because I am who I am. Jen is who she is. And the more we can share who we are, the easier it is for us to connect with people. And then, I mean, obviously, we're at the rink all the time with the kids too. So when they see us, they know who we are. They know what we do. We don't have to actively sell to all the parents on the hockey team now, hey, if you want to buy a house, come and see us. They know who we are, and they know what we do for a living and a career already. So I think it's really helped bridge the gap for us that way.
And I think I was on a podcast last week, and I kind of coined a term that we were both like, yeah, that's kind of a good term. But I feel like the video is kind of a gentle marketing, right? So we're putting video out in, ways we love our community. We're doing our property videos, but we're pushing them out there so much that, like Ryan said, people are aware that we're real estate agents. They know what we do. We don't need to do really hard marketing in your face tactics, because we're putting it out there in a gentle way that's kind of non-offensive to people. So definitely that's one way that's helped our business as well too.
Gotcha. As a side question, tell me about the Royal LePage Chairman's Club. What is that? What is the honors of top 1% of real estate agents in Canada? I know that you were in it. I'm just curious to know, here in New York City, what is that?
Absolutely. Well, Royal LePage is obviously a national firm in that. And so what the Chairman's Club is it is strictly the top 1% of volume producing agents in Canada. So I think there's 18,000 Royal LePage agents in Canada. So we are in the top 1% of those across the country. And that's it's strictly awesome. volume number is what it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what do you attribute, and you don't have to say video, even though this is a video, topic show thing, but this is really a show about helping agents build a business, and we cover a variety of topics. What do you think? So whenever I talk to someone that's in a 1% of production, in a big brokerage like that, everybody wants to know kind of how you do it, right? How'd you get there? So I'm just curious, is there something in specific that you attribute that really got you to that 1%, so to speak, in what you do from, any part of your business?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of what we do is our connection to our clients. We stay very, very connected to past clients. I mean, our community's 50,000 people, so there's lots of times we run into them wherever we are, whether it is at a hockey game or whether it's at the Sobeys grocery store or wherever. We have a very, very tight-knit sphere of influence that we see all the time. I was on a coaching call about Christmas time, and the coach was like, so where did your business come from? I said, well, 85 to 90% of it was either repeat or referral. And he's like, that's amazing, but you got to he was telling me I got to create new blood into it.
Yeah.
But a lot of our business, like our sphere of influence does so much for us to help promote us. And we see them all the time. And I think it also ties back to our community involvement. We had a little girl at my boys' school that doesn't have a lot of anything really, and their computer died. Well, that was their form of entertainment. And I reached out to a client of mine who I know is a computer guy. He builds computers. That's his job. And I simply reached out to him, and we just have that relationship with all of our clients. At any point, I can reach out to them and say, hey, I need a hand with this. Mm-hmm. And they bend over backwards to help us out. And I mean, next week we throw client parties all the time. Next week we're throwing a big skating and family party at the rink and stuff. So it's just, we're very, very connected to our clientele all the time.
Yeah. And I think that's the point too, is new business is great. And in order to grow from here, new business is necessary. But I mean, take care of those ones that are taking care of you, right? And your clients that are referring you and raving about you and sending you clients, foster those relationships, and thank them for that. And that referral side of things usually kind of takes care of itself just by caring about the people that are kind of caring about you back, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing, the kind of referral business that you guys have. And that's really fantastic. It's interesting. I find that people that are successful with video are, shouldn't be a surprise, but they're generally people that are successful in regular relationships with people. They like people So when they're in video, you get the feel that they like people and they care about people. So somebody will watch this show, let's say a prospective buyer, and they'll hear this story about this girl who doesn't have anything and you trying to hook up the family and, just trying. And right there, you're like, all right, you're a good, kind-hearted person. You're not like a shady, let me steal some commission from you kind of agent. And like, oh, this is a nice person. Of course, I want to sell my home. Why wouldn't I talk to you? Like, why wouldn't I? So yeah, it shows. So awesome. So if an agent is going out there and let's say they're new in the real estate business, right? And they don't have necessarily 3 kids. And so they don't have these, huge ties, so to speak, in the community. And they're just starting. Like imagine maybe when you started 9 years ago, how oldest kid?
He's 10 now. So he was just
so he was a year old when you started in the business.
Yeah.
Wow, you started with a year-old. Wow. Okay, that's not an easy start. Okay. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. I can imagine if I started with that would be hard. Started like 15 years before that. So, okay. Any advice for how somebody like that, you would recommend someone like that start to build a business for themselves using video, not using video, whatever it may be? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Well, first of all, if you're going to use video, use it. Like I love the power of like Instagram stories and everything now. Like give people an insight into who you are. Allow people to get to know you as a person, and share your knowledge in the industry, and just kind of get yourself out there. Like there's no easier way to do it in my mind now than using video, because there's so many social platforms that, I mean, when you're an agent just starting out, you don't have a huge budget to take out all these different big, billboard ads or newspaper ads or whatever that are thousands of dollars. And if you can get and leverage the social media, whether it's, like I said, Instagram stories or whatever, it's just a huge way to get your name out there and start building that circle of trust with people around town.
And I was going to say too, like focusing a little bit on a niche, like find out something that's interesting to you and get out there and get involved in your community, volunteer somewhere, surround yourself with like-minded people and connect with them. And then from there, just start with some of that, gentle marketing, get yourself out there, build that trust somewhere first. And then it's, the business is easy to come. I shouldn't say easy to come, but the business is easier to come after that if you can build that trust.
So I'm, as you're saying this, posting this to Snapchat and Instagram stories, of course, because I got to follow your lead here. But and the way that you said the gentle marketing, that really works. You should, the second the show's over, just go to Google and see if you can buy that domain, because it's a good one. I do it right now for you, but do it right when the show goes over, because it's a good one. And whoever's listening. So really awesome stuff. What I think is really cool here about this, and the reason I like asking a lot of times when I do like a video interview about like how did you start and grow your business, is there's so many different ways people can grow their business, and you guys are definitely the relationship, referral-based, social networking building type, and you got to that 1% really on working that network versus someone else that might be the diehard cold caller or so on and so forth. So it's really cool to be able to see someone as successful as you guys are and doing it, in that way. So that's really, really fantastic. So guys, I want to first of all thank you so much for being on the show and sharing this advice with people. If people want to follow you, see the good stuff that you're doing, maybe someone in your community that wants to jump on in video with you, how do they reach you?
Well, first off, our website's the easiest way to find us right away. It's Shields Group at shieldsgroup.ca. Shieldsgroup.ca. Sorry, I was thinking Facebook group. So that our Facebook page is also really super easy to connect, and that's Shields Group at Royal LePage. Martin Liberty Realty is our Facebook page. So those are probably the 2 easiest ones. Instagram, we're on Instagram. We're on the different social media platforms and that, but the easiest hub is obviously our website.
Fantastic. Awesome. So first of all, I advise everybody to go follow, check out the website, check them out on social. Obviously, good people to connect with and good people to know. And I'm looking forward to watching you guys, continue to propel even further. Whoever your coach is that was telling you about going after the new business or something like that, I think the cool thing for you will be you go out there and you increase your database and you build your database. And let's say you put in another 3,000 people over time into your database. They're all going to see the community that you already have, that it's just going to be so much easier to grow in that way. because they're going to see what you have already. So they're just going to see the relationships, and they're going to want that relationship too. They're going to be a little jealous of your other clients. So growing for you will probably be easy. Just go out there and meet those people. So that's really good stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I mean, thanks for having us and reaching out to us. This is an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you guys are awesome. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for joining us here on the Michael Meier Show. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. If you found this show valuable, or you had a good time, or it brought a smile to your face, please share this show. Thank you for watching it to this point, and we look forward to seeing you next week on the next show. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and I'll see you around.
Thanks. See you around.